Sure. My name is Jackie Gann, the Men's Program Director at the Foundry Ministries in Bessemer, Alabama. So we have 80 men in our program. They're here to kind of develop a life that is led by Christ. With the Foundry, you have to sit there hand in hand, side by side, with some of the toughest issues that people are going through. These people have hurt people. They've hurt themselves. There's a lot of guilt and shame that's following them around, and so it is messy.
When I was 5 years old, my father died of cancer, and it had just left me and my mom. And that was a really rough time in my life. And it was just like a constant battle right there in junior high and the beginning of high school of the people that you were hanging out with. This is cool, this is not cool. And then that eventually formed into an addiction.
Before I was 18, I never really tried any drugs. I was really a good kid and joined a fraternity and started, experimenting with things, partying. And I found out that I loved how drugs made me feel.
Every party growing up, there was Xanax there. And there was always somebody friendly enough to give you some, so.
When I was putting meth in my veins, it was like I was allowing the devil to come in my body, literally. And it took over my thoughts. It was like I was best friends with the devil. And I don't know.
Addiction is the most life-controlling issue that I've ever experienced myself. When your feet hit the ground, you have to have this substance to live, and it becomes a survival mechanism. And so you will hurt anybody necessary to survive. And then in the meantime, you're destroying yourself with it, and you're destroying everybody else around you.
You will justify anything just to get that fixed. I've stole from my family, I've stole from stores. I've done anything that it took to get what I needed. It makes you a completely different person. It makes you almost like just so selfish. You're not worried about the outcome of what you do. You're not worried about who it affects. You're not worried about how it affects you, as long as you get what you're after.
I would do anything to get meth. I was unemployable. Meth was my full-time job. It was all I thought about. I had to steal, I had to use drugs every day, no questions asked. I stole from everybody that I came in contact with, everybody. If it took 4 hours to go get what I needed to get right, I would do it in a heartbeat.
The decision making for them becomes a decision they're not even making on their own sometimes. Sometimes it becomes, in the very essence of the word, addiction. So you're drawn by it, you're dragged into it, you're doing things that you don't want to do, you can't figure out why you're doing those things, And those things become, you would think that you can choose through that stuff, but they're not a choice at that point in time. Coming to the Foundry, you've been making a bunch of bad decisions that put you in a position to get bad results. And they get used to that. I got used to that. And for the most part, you start doing the right things. You start showing up on time. It's as small as making your bed up every day is an accomplishment that you come back to and say, I did that right.
And something came over me, something told me that this is where I need to be. I don't know why I knew, like I said, I knew nothing about this place, really. And it's ended up being the best decision I've ever made in my life.
It's such a dramatic change from the way that I used to live my life. The love that was there from the staff and from the guys who were in the black lanyards and the blue lanyards. And it was crazy. Hope is something that I never had until I got saved. I got baptized at the Foundry. I'm at my final step right before I get my own place. I've already started making preparations with the help of John Wall and the guys at CLCC.
It's the first decision and best decision I've ever made in my life.
It's fertile ground. You're getting a return on investments that you can visibly see in this room today. You're sowing into life, and you're sowing into hope, and in families, and just the smiles on the kids' faces when they get back with their dad or their mom is priceless.